DNC on board with Medicare for all single payer, Tom?
Well, you know, we want to make sure that health care is a right. It's not a privilege. And that's why we fought for the Affordable Care Act. That's why we want to continue to expand it. We want to make sure that everybody, and the Affordable Care Act has made tremendous progress. We have more work to do. And I think the unity, Chris, that we've shown in the recent efforts by Trump to repeal the Affordable Care Act have been an energizing force for Democrats, independents, others who share the values of inclusion and opportunity. And health care is absolutely a right in this country, or should be. It shouldn't be a privilege, and obviously we believe that as Democrats. Republicans don't appear to believe that.
Good question. Zero follow-up. Zero follow-up. I'm amazed. Why is Chris Hayes doing an interview? Why is Chris Hayes doing an interview? The question in itself was awesome, but the idea that he took Tom Perez's answer as an answer is absolutely obscene. Do you, as Democrats, you're standing beside Sanders. Sanders clearly believes in single payer for everybody. The man calls himself a socialist. He believes in single payer. Do you believe in Medicare for all? Straight question, honest question, awesome question. Tom Perez's, we want to make sure that health care is a right. Ultimately saying, we believe that health care should be a right, which is why we pushed through the Affordable Care Act. And which is why we were resisting in order to try to protect the Affordable Care Act. There is still room to go, but yes, we believe that health care should be a right. That's not an answer. That is not an answer. I believe that everybody should have their own unicorn and their own flying car. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's great. I believe everybody should have steak and lobster for dinner whenever they want steak and lobster for dinner. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. But that doesn't really answer my question, Tom. Do you believe, you keep using the term we, I don't know who we is, but do you believe that Medicare for all should be essentially a goal of the Democratic Party? Yes or no? That's a yes or no. That's not, we push the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act doesn't cover everybody, and it keeps insurance companies, those leeches, into the process. Why are you going to have a leech take 30% off the top and add not anything to the process? Just a bunch of annoyance. Now, if you're saying that the Affordable Care Act was the Democratic version of an attempt to deal with health care, then yeah, we don't have anything else to talk about. Because you're nothing like Sanders. Again, I've made this point before. I think it was either Chomsky or Chris Hedges. But he makes this case of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party ultimately are the same thing. The distinction between the two is not one of difference, it's one of degrees. So the Democratic Party accepts the system as it is, but it complains about the excesses. So we don't have an issue with having an insurance company rape the American public and provide no added value for the service. We don't mind that. We just don't want it to be excessive. Then how are you going to deal with healthcare costs? Why does everything have to have a goddamn profit motive? You have an insurance company that is not doing anything in the process, and your Affordable Care Act didn't just protect those things. They didn't just protect them. They didn't protect this unnecessary item. You put in a mandate to force people to buy service from some kind of private enterprise. That's amazing. That's amazing. You're a Democratic president. As a classic Democrat, you would have thought healthcare for all would have been the point. And keeping this private enterprise in that doesn't add anything to the process. You still left millions of people off the rolls because you didn't deal with the point of cost. Because you left a profit-making enterprise that add nothing to the process in the system, in addition to protecting drug companies. Are you really using this case that the Affordable Care Act is the thing that you want to pull off, and that is somehow in any way associated or close to Medicare for all? No, answer his question. That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no. What you said right there wasn't an answer. Or at the very least, if you want me to take that as an answer, then we don't have anything else to talk about. You're sitting right there with Bernie Sanders. Sanders is being clear as day that we should have Medicare for everybody. Or single payer, however you want to call it. However you get to that process, single payer healthcare. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm full well understanding what Sanders is saying. I'm in the dark of what you just told me. Is that a yes? Is the Democratic Party for Medicare for all? And will the Democratic Party push as an agenda Medicare for all? That's a yes or no. That's a yes or no. You can give me context after you say yes or no, but I want that yes or no. That doesn't answer that question at all.